We're not talking about being in the nation of America because we're not citizens of America, because as the Constitution says that we are 3/5 of a person to be
Let me ask you a question now. I started to talk to you about my background. I think I mentioned to you that my father's name is Clifford Jackson.
Yes, sir.
And he was a major hustler in the city, back in the day, like we used to say. Now, a person like me, with the type of power that I probably could muster, I mean, if you were in my position, what would you try to endeavor to do? If you were trying to do something positive?
Well, come on. Yes, sir. Well, one of the things, being in your shoes, coming up as a child of a man with that statue, I would say the best thing to tell young people is the reality of what they're getting into, the consequences. Because most of us don't know the consequences. We only see on the surface the glitter and the gold.
Right.
But underneath the glitter and the gold, we don't see the consequences. And if they knew the consequences, if they knew the reality in which they were dealing with, they would leave that lifestyle alone and try to do the right thing, which is to be all that they can be, not in this world, but in their world, because they have the potential to be all of those things that America say that we can subscribe to be. But we can be all those things as long as we don't get tripped up.
Okay, the drug culture. I mean, what do we do about the significant role that the children, the young people, are playing economically to the drug culture? They're the ones that need the little money for the little, for the gold and the glitter that they're trying to get their hands on, and they're serving this economy, but they're not serving their own people with the money that they generate. And what would you do to try to change that?
Certainly coming up in the American school system, coming through their school system, which is the first introduction to their mindset. If we can catch our children in the inception of going to school and train them to be business people, from day one how to be a banker, from day one how to be a carpenter.
Like we had in Rosewood back in the day.
Yes, sir. That we would be in Oklahoma have the black, I think it was the black Wall Street. We would have a black Wall Street today in this era in time in the 21st century.
Right, because we don't have a market. NASDAQ has a market. Different countries have their own markets. But you have different cultures that have their own markets too. I mean, that's why there's a market cornered on oil. That's why the Arabs have the oil locked down.
Yes, sir.
So I'm wondering what kind of entrepreneurship should we focus on? I mean, we only get menial tasks or menial type jobs, and the Hispanics are coming in. They're taking over some of those jobs, and a lot of them are more qualified, well trained, better trained, and they seem to have a more organized structure of teaching each other these tasks, these skills before they even come to this country. So how do we avert the popularity of the Hispanics as far as being new employees and positive employees?
Yes, sir. Again, as a student of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, leadership of Minister Farrakhan, like you said, we don't have the money to be able to give our children those tricklets. So if we look at the dynamics of our situation, we as a people are the most skilled people on the planet. Now, we have skill, and that's our bargaining chip. So if Africa, which also played a hand in the slave trade, Africa with all of its rich mineral resources, if we could build up Africa in exchange, Africa could give us land, then in and of itself we could go for ourselves, because smaller populations than us have country. So I know that we can do it as 30 to 40 million people, skilled labor, in exchange to take the raw material of Africa and make it refined so that it can be used in a civilization such as our civilization as well as African civilization.
Okay, well, how do we relate? I mean, because people don't receive each other well. When they have a conversation with a guy that's of substance, we don't have a lot of think tanks that we, like say, just a common everyday guy on the street is interested in policy and politics. He can go to the courthouse, but it's as an individual. And a lot of the organizations, people don't want to join. They feel like it's so much of the same. I mean, how do we get past it?
Yes, sir. One of the illusions that confront us as a people is titles. Mm-hmm. If we put down the titles and understand the commonality, what affects me affects you just as well.
Right, what's the commonality? Yeah.
The commonality would be that we are both catching hell. The commonality would be that you are no better than me in the white man's eyes.
Right, that's right.
He only allows you to think that you are better than me by giving you a little more money than giving me. So he puts you up there, but in all actuality, anytime he want to pull the string, because you ain't really but one paycheck away from coming down that ladder.
That's
and
right.
once you come down, the same people that you see on the way up, you'll be surprised that when on your way down, you'll see them same people again, and you'll regret that you did not do anything for those people. So when those people begin to do the thing that they want to do to you, now they have the opportunity. Don't think because what comes around goes around.
That's
or
right.
what goes around comes around.
I mean,
you dogged us. Now it's our time to dog you.
Now, well, enough of our black men think like white men, and enough of our black women support the Western ways and Western cultural ways. Now, if we can't get through to them, then we're not going to be able to get through to the average brother. Women have a lot of control out here, but it's a lot of negative control when it comes down to the household and the children. So I'm kind of curious about how you deal with the family per se. How do you deal with the family and how do you deal with the woman?
Again, as a student of Muhammad Minister Farrakhan, like you say, our priority is our women. But our women are not going to follow us as men if we don't get it together or we ain't got it together. So they have to go other places in order to make ends meet in this world. But once the black man get himself together and stop shucking and stop jiving and do his part and help build a civilization for his babies and our babies and the unborn babies that's going to be coming into this world, then that black woman is going to always be disenfranchised from the black man. We have to stand up as black men and take our role as leaders, as warriors, as builders of civilization. We had to take our role in all of that. Unless we not do that, then we're going to still confront the reality of our women going elsewhere and doing other things to make ends meet. But it's us. If once the black man gets it together, then the black woman, she ain't got no other choice but to fall in love.
Well, I hope that's how it turns out, but right now, I mean, I look at the women and I see, like you said, they're disenfranchised. They're disappointed with us. They don't feel like we're viable as a species. We not. I don't know too many women that think that men or look up to men per se. You know what I mean? Personally, in my family, my sisters looked up to my father. They try to respect him to a certain degree, but I think around about the 80s. Is when things started to change, and it was more women, we were more liberal with our women.